Welcome to another episode of the Finish Podcast. I'm joined with my baby daddy, Franny.
Hi.
We call you the sub-Mexican.
Yeah.
Usually. You have some food in your teeth.
No,
You got to prep better for this. We're on camera.
Babe. Don't start giving shit. Like, I had to bring my own coffee and my own egg whites again. And now I had to bring some to you also.
Oh my gosh, I know. God forbid I'm at the office working and I needed you to bring me something. I'm struggling today. I'm tired. We had a long weekend.
We did have a long weekend.
I have to say thank you.
Events.
Yeah. I'm just going to say thank you because I know a lot of you that listen actually came, well, the ones that live locally in Dallas, came over to the Finish headquarters for the first time this weekend. I think ultimately we had 300, 400 people come through the office space on Saturday. We had a huge warehouse sale. So I hope y'all enjoyed. It was pretty amazing.
It was great. I think traffic was great. People were
patient.
Super patient at the beginning. There were some technical difficulties.
This is the issue with CBD. So we can't use, a lot of people are like, why can't we swipe cards? It's like, well, some of those processors don't accept CBD. So like when you check out online, it kicks to another credit card processor. This is probably boring to you, but that's the reason why originally we had a line of like an hour, because when we started ringing people up, there were so many people in here that we had to manually put in cards because Square sucks. And they were like, you know, they usually will process CBD, but they were having issues. And
all of them.
But
like,
then
there's very few that are really nice.
Franny jumped in on his cell phone and started ringing people up. So everyone got to meet Franny, take photos with Franny. And then they kept telling me that you rang them up. And I was like, was he charging your card? So people were sending me, showing me their, you know, their Amex or their Visa that their charge actually went through.
I'll just use my personal account. I'm just kidding.
You were taking the funds into your personal?
Just like putting them in my PayPal.
It was cool though, because, you know, I'm not into event planning or throwing events, but I think that after last year, you know, we haven't done any kind of in person. It wasn't like the first thing that I wanted to do with the pandemic going on. So I was a little, you know, kind of wary. Should we do an event? I'm pregnant. Like, does everyone need to wear a mask? How do we do this? And I think it went really well. I mean, I wore a mask like half the time. It's not even as much COVID. I'm vaccinated. It's more like getting the flu or getting a cold and being pregnant and wanting to kind of meet and greet and hang out with people. But it's so great because, yeah, people can buy stuff online. And I love that. That's great. That's what the business is. But to be able to be in person and meet customers and hear people's stories about product or just, you know, to meet people, I think it gives a better experience.
For sure. I think it was an amazing event. And I have to say I was very overwhelmed with all the good feedback I received. People were telling me how much they like
you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. I was just here like shooting the shit.
That's what everyone...
People really like it.
People weren't even talking to me about me, really. They were talking to me about you. So,
and I still don't have a changing room and anything.
Don't let it go to his head. No, it was great. It's so nice to like put faces.
For Jimmy Fallon, I'm busy all December. So just please book.
That's where you're at now. A couple of podcasts and that's what you're ready for? What would you talk about if you were to go on a show like that? Like, what are you promoting? What is your skill?
Well, I'm a master of all trades, you know? So I'll be talking about anything that, you know, like just would...
I feel like that's what like a drug dealer says. Like you're a master of all trades.
No, actually, I'll be talking a lot about you, baby.
Fran and I have been desperate for something new to watch. So if you have any recommendations, that would be great. Because I think we've crushed almost every good series of a show. And we don't tend to watch, we don't watch any reality television.
None.
And there's stuff out there that sometimes I'll dabble in, or, you know, I have so many girlfriends that watch all of these reality shows and I just can't. I don't know. I'm missing a chromosome as a woman in a lot of ways. We've talked about this before, you know, when I don't want to have like a gender reveal or a wedding. So I'm missing the reality show chromosome. I always have been, but y'all know that about me. But we started watching it's a kind of a reality show, right?
It's something about it because it's a really handy-cam recorded show.
Okay, well, it's kind of like how Cops was. Anyway, it's on the National Geographic Channel, but it's called Smugglers. It's about people
to catch a smuggler.
To catch a smuggler. So it's like a reality show that's based at the border and the airports. I was like, does it hit a little close to home for Fran?
Oh,
why are you so interested in the show?
I just wanted to see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what you're doing, trying to figure it out. No, it's actually a really good show because it's at the Miami airport or in New York, and all the different kinds of shit people smuggle or try to, or on their person, or like, I just don't understand how women can fit bags of heroin of that size up their vagina.
It is surprising. Did you remember that girl that had like almost a kilo up there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Her boyfriend can't be happy. I mean, well, maybe their intimacy.
She's dating a donkey or something.
It's terrible. You're Mexican. You can say whatever you want. That's a terrible thing to say. That seems like very racist.
No.
The Mexican woman's dating a donkey. Yeah. I mean, you can say that, right? Like, I can't say that sort of thing.
Well, I don't know if she can fit a kilo up there. Like,
this brings me to a great listener email that we got. It's very short. I'm gonna actually here in a minute we're gonna go through some of your emails because sometimes we get a lot from you and sometimes we don't. But someone wrote us. I think this is just perfect. I have to tell you what she said. She said, I'm loving your podcast. This is Teresa. I listen to it every Friday morning during my run. It usually comes out on Wednesday, but I'm sure a lot of you know that. I was looking at the general information about it and saw that the E rating. I thought that meant everyone, but now I realize it means explicit.
I hope you were watching it with your kid or listening to.
I did get a bunch of people this weekend. Yeah, a lot of comments about the podcast, which is great. But saying that they love the podcast, but then they'd be standing next to their like 12-year-old. I'm like, I hope you're not having them listen to this podcast because yes, it is such a departure from who we were on the radio, who I was on the radio. I mean, this is very authentic to who I am. I mean, probably too edgy sometimes. I just try and block out that like grandma might listen or family members of mine because they have told me this summer when we went to visit family in South Carolina. I love my family in South Carolina. It's all my dad's relatives, but they are, they're conservative people and they go to church. Like they're very sweet, amazing, wonderful family. And I say things on this podcast that I try to block out. You have to do that. It's kind of a rule of thumb. You have to block out that family listens, okay? Because you wouldn't be as authentic if you questioned everything that came out of your mouth. However, one of my aunts said to me, she's like, I love the podcast. I mean, some of them get a little... Ooh, I need to not listen because that's my niece. I was like, yeah, sorry. So, we need
to give like a spoiler alert at the beginning. Like, hey, fam, if you're listening, this is the one to skip.
So
Something
like every
that.
podcast, we should tell them
there's some that
for
are
the
like,
most part,
we
right?
don't talk about vaginas or penises.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever not talked about that.
Well, then, yeah.
Well, yeah. You know what we do talk about from time to time? We talk about therapeutic things. We talk about fitness and wellness and health. Sexual wellness is part of that as well from time to time,
Very
right?
Important.
Yeah, but it is the holiday season and there are gifts that keep on giving. I know they say a loose rule of thumb is you're not supposed to give someone that you love a piece of workout equipment. Now, I've always
unless you need it.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But there's always that joke, like, you shouldn't give someone something that they're not interested in already. But someone like me or you, we like to exercise. We love fitness equipment. And by far, and I'm sure you've seen commercials for it, the coolest piece of fitness equipment I've ever seen is the tonal device. This thing is so amazing. It's like a piece of art. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. Usually the downside with workout equipment you put in your home is most of us don't have room for some bulky treadmill or big piece of equipment, right? Tonal is as thin as a flat screen television that's going to get mounted on your wall. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you're getting an entire gym's worth of equipment and a device, like I said, smaller than a flat screen television. And you don't have to deal with traditional weights either. It's actually going to have up to 200 pounds of resistance built in to this kind of hanging mirror television contraption. It's just stunning. And they're, of course, going to install it for you if you decide to get this piece of equipment. So either tell the one you love that this is on your Christmas list. Maybe this would be something so perfect for Fran and I to go in together and say, this is exactly what we want. But if you're interested in HIIT workouts or yoga, boot camp, bar, you're going to have thousands of personalized workouts to choose from. You're going to get real-time feedback on your form and technique. They have 17 sensors built in, to this machine with the handles that you're going to utilize. It's just incredible. You can actually finance Tonal for as low as $63 a month with 0% APR for 4 years. And like I said, professional installers, because you cannot trust someone like him to do this, right? They're going to deliver and mount your Tonal safely and quickly. And Tonal offers a 3-year limited warranty. Try Tonal, the smartest home gym, for 30 days in your home. Tonal is so confident you're going to love it. They actually offer a full money back guarantee. Yeah, they'll install it. You hate it, they'll take it back and give you your money back. You're not going to hate it, though. You can get Tonal for $63 per month with 0 interest over 48 months when you go to tonal.com. And you're actually going to get $100 off when you use the promo code FITTISH at checkout. That's Tonal, TONAL.com, and use the promo code FITTISH for that additional $100 off. Tonal, be your strongest.
That's a really cool piece of equipment. I was going to the mall the other day, and have you seen how sexy of a store they have? Like, it's like an Apple store.
The Tonal store.
The Tonal store.
Do they have a model like doing it? You know how sometimes fitness boutiques will have that? Like they'll have a model.
Oh, no, like, do you remember that other bicycle place?
Yeah. They'll have like someone in the window doing it.
Someone in the
They
window
pay them to work out.
Yeah.
I've had friends do it. Do you know that? I've had friends do that. And I mean, a lot of the athleisure stores will do that too. Sometimes they'll have a class and they'll have like someone in the window doing yoga or something. But it's a great idea because it gives you this like visual window, obviously, but it's just so funny. But yeah, they'll pay you to do it.
Well, they haven't approached me for that.
To model?
To model on that yet.
Tonal, we're available. Yeah, I gotta consider.
They're gonna have a bunch of before pictures. They're gonna keep waiting for the after.
You know what I love? I mean, we're not even doing the commercial anymore, but what I love about fitness equipment at home is it's so much more comfortable, at least for me, especially like maybe it's different with men and women, but do you ever feel like too out of shape to go do like a workout class in front of other people? I mean, I feel that way often, and especially these days. I mean, being pregnant, you feel like you're not ready to go. Your workout style's not ready for public consumption yet. Like you don't like feel comfortable in the clothes, and you know that you
want to do some at home first, just so you're not like, too winded.
Yeah, like you want to get in shape before you actually go do a group workout class. That's why at home fitness equipment and all these online workouts you can do are so amazing, because like no one knows if you quit. No one knows if you quit halfway through.
Well, I think I'm shameless on that because I literally like go to work out. Like I'm pretty sure I have catch myself going in with that like pajamas t-shirt on.
It's true. You got to get over. I mean, yoga used to be that way for me. Like I would go to a yoga class and go, I know I'm going to be the worst in the class. And once you can kind of just swallow your pride and get over it, and just let go and not care what other people think, you're in a much better place because you're there for yourself. That's what they say. It's your practice.
Oh, for sure.
It's your practice. But
no, and in the morning, I like if I already woke up, I have no other worries in life.
Are you feeling like giving some relationship advice today?
100%.
Because we let the audience dictate sometimes what we talk about. And we've gotten a couple different questions, as we do every week, that y'all want a little bit of feedback. I don't know if we're the experts here.
No, but we are full of opinions.
We're full of opinions. Yes. This is from Michaela. I hope I can say your name. I think so. You didn't tell me not to, so I apologize if I get you in trouble. Maybe he needs to hear it. But it says, first off, I love listening and I've listened since the beginning, but I have an issue. My fiance seems like he started to get cold feet, saying he's worried we are too different. I don't see this like he does at all. My question is, do you feel like being different in a relationship is okay? Do I have to like everything he likes? I know I don't, but I want your thoughts. I'm hoping he doesn't call off the wedding from being so nervous. Oh, what a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
Nothing is worse than feeling unstable in a relationship. And I think about that a lot because I realize some past relationships I've had, shame on a partner who creates a feeling of instability, or maybe they enjoy that or they don't care about. It's kind of your responsibility, I feel, as an adult, like as we have a good relationship, there's an element of responsibility on you as a partner. You want your partner to feel secure, you know? I mean, it's one thing if someone's desperately insecure, but you want to make your partner feel comfortable and secure about the relationship.
That's a horrible game to play.
Yeah.
Even if he's serious, even if he thinks that you guys are for sure different, I think he should have that conversation with himself and then a therapist and then have a solution for it. Or before he throws out, because he's just, sometimes people do that to get a reaction or to play a game.
Did you get cold feet?
Well, we haven't gotten married.
But I mean, we're having a child and you propose, but have you had cold feet?
No. Well, we're beyond engaged.
I mean, other than your circulation issues, because like we need to address that later. You have actual like really cold feet. Yeah. But I think it's a shame, and I know it makes me feel like maybe your fiance's young and maybe I'm just venturing there. Yeah. I would hope that you don't put too much pressure on the details of a wedding. It is a really big decision, but I hate men that get this way. I hate it. It drives me crazy, but you should not propose and make a commitment to someone if you don't feel ready. Now, I don't know how you're behaving and if you're putting a lot of pressure about a wedding or a ceremony or things, because I would think that you propose to someone and you know him pretty well by now. You know that you like reality TV and he hates it, or, you don't like to go to sporting events and he does. I mean, we're all different.
There is a silver lining here. Like, what? This is the best time
for him to get cold feet. Yeah.
Like, I'd rather you find the root of what's happening right now than 10 years from now with 3 kids. And
I tell myself that, I think we've all been through things that have been really heartbreaking, or relationships. I don't know if you've had your heart broken really bad. I mean, I have. And in hindsight, at the time you're like, this is the worst scenario imaginable. I'm going to marry this person, or I wanted to spend my life with this person. And sometimes it takes time. But I mean, we're just preparing her in case that happens.
Yeah,
and we hope that
for
it doesn't.
Sure. But I think it's a good time. If it happens, it's a good time.
It's so true. It means he's not the person for you. If he really starts being this way and this ends negatively. I mean, look, Michaela, the other option here is always to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's something that I think, the one thing about me not being as religious, and Fran, we can touch on his stint in Rome when he was going to become a priest, because he has a different, analysis of religion. But the one great thing that the church offers is this premarital counseling. And you don't have to, do it through the church at all. You can go a more traditional therapy route. But I think that would be great. I mean, I think Fran and I, that's probably one thing that, that we've discussed, actually. I mean, we had some issues before we got engaged, I guess. Yeah. That we went to therapy over, and it really helped. It really helped in a way.
Just
and it
opens a communication channel.
It opens communication. And, BetterHelp is a sponsor of the Fiddish podcast. And again, with a guy like this, they make it easy. You don't even have to go in person. You can just open up the computer, sign yourself up for couples therapy. They can even match you if you're talking about some kind of premarital counseling couples therapy. BetterHelp will find a therapist, usually within under 48 hours is what they say, which is really cool. That's going to be matched because obviously therapists specialize in different therapies. But unload some of this stress. Talk about it. It's so nice to have a mediator. Sometimes that's what it is, right? That you just have someone that you get to, know that they're not going to judge you. You're going to talk openly about how you both feel about something. And hey, one way or another, it's going to be really helpful for your relationship. BetterHelp is customized online therapy. And again, video, phone, live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to turn the camera on. You don't have to get in the car and make that awkward drive home together if the therapy session gets too intense. So you can just turn on the computer and get going. And it's so much more affordable than in-person therapy. Go to betterhelp.com/Fiddish. That's BetterHelp.com/Fiddish. Our Fiddish listeners are going to get 10% off your first month when you go to betterhelp.com/fittish. Let us know if you've had a great experience with BetterHelp as well. Again, that's betterhelp.com/fittish for 10% off your already more affordable first month.
I think that's an excellent idea because this is the time to figure out. My grandfather used to say, "Más vale un colorado que mil descoloridos." Doesn't translate in English very well.
It sounded like you said something about
But it
more
means
Colorado.
like it's better to have like one shocking moment for one person than a lifetime of just being with someone that is a flake or someone that is going to be playing games throughout your entire life.
But it never feels like it at the time because you get so tunnel vision. It feels like, a heartbreak like that or something can just feel like the absolute end of the world. You're humiliated. It's awful. You've been with someone for so long, but it is so true. I think about some of the things in my past that have, not come to fruition at the time. They were really disappointing. And when you start to later in life, like you see true colors or you just see the side of someone that you didn't see before, or you obviously move on and meet someone that you never could have imagined living your life without. Trust me, I'm shocked, and it took me a while to find Fran. And I think back to other relationships that disappointed me at the time that didn't work out. And I could not be happier that they didn't. Cause I just think, now that we're having a family and doing all of these things and what a great, relationship we do have for the most part.
Sure.
It's still
and I
work,
think it's worth it. Same here. I think we have all been in a path that we think that's the path, and we keep.
Well, you got married
fighting
before,
at it.
right? You went
somewhat. Yeah.
You don't like to talk about that, but you did. You did. What? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got married for a couple months, and but that's.
Do you regret that?
I don't.
Do you regret that? I think a lot of women tend to feel the way
I don't regret.
I hate that I've been engaged once or twice and then it didn't.
I don't regret it because I was very young and I
regret it
something
for you.
that made who I am. That's part of my journey. And I think that going through all of those things, like what she's going through, you're able to learn more about yourself and who you are.
Yeah. God, so much better than, I think about that all the time. You end up with someone and you don't know. And I think this happens a lot when people get married really young, but you end up with someone that you have this family with and you just grow apart. You've had friends that this has happened to, you grow apart or you just start not, you don't like each other anymore so much that you hate each other because you got together when you were 20 and think about how different you are than when you're 20 than when you're 30 or 40 and you have children and you're trying to make it work. But it can get so ugly. Most of the people that we know that got married really young, and I know it works for some, but they're divorced.
Yeah,
with kids and on another relationship. Yeah.
And I think it's all about timing. It's just finding the right time. And if it's not working, just make that decision for the best of your kids.
You better not fuck up. I'm not putting you on that birth certificate.
So do you.
So do you. I get to be on the birth certificate no matter what because it's coming out of me. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with that. That wouldn't look good. You'd kidnap the baby to Mexico.
Yeah. I know how to smuggle him now.
You know how to smuggle a baby? Yeah. How would you smuggle a baby?
Well, I cannot tell you because then you'll find it.
Mm-hmm. How would you smuggle something? What have you learned from the smuggling show?
Babe. I was in conference the whole morning. Just change that. Put that in a different place.
I don't know if I think I told y'all.
The magnets still work,
I
but
was so certain.
Big better cars.
The magnets. Yeah, the magnets under the cars. I was so certain, when that first trip to Mexico City, when we got in trouble at the hotel for smoking weed, that when they asked for your name and you gave them the name that I had never heard you say before, and then of course I was paranoid and high and I was in the bathroom, I think I've told the story on the podcast, but he has 4 names, obviously, I guess as most Mexicans do. But I had never heard the other 2 names and he gave that name and I sat there and I was like, I'm going to abandon this man. I have to fend for myself. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I'm in the toilet, sitting in the bathroom going, I'm going to walk out. There's going to be like federalis everywhere. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to act like I had no idea what was going on. I don't even know him. I'm just here on a date. Like I was going to totally throw him under the bus. Cause like at this juncture in our relationship, I would never do that. Like I would be with you till the end. But then, I mean, I think we had slept together like once. I'd be like, I don't know him. I mean, I know we just got these tattoos together, but I don't fucking know this dude. I gotta go.
Babe, the thing is that I was in that first trip to Mexico. I was aiming for your kidneys, but I found your heart. So lucky you.
That is so dark. Oh my God. I would never think. Yeah. I was like, he might be a drug trafficker. And they're like, no, he's like selling organs on the black market. I mean, that was a risk that I took going on a trip with you to Mexico City, that I would wake up in the bathtub one morning like, fuck. That's the risk you take when you travel with someone you just started dating, right?
I just fall in love.
I mean, everyone knew where I was and they would have known who did it at least, right? So I was protected in that way. But yeah, I guess that's just living on the edge.
Yes, babe, you took some huge risk.
All right, back to some of your messages. I've been wanting to ask Fran something along these lines, but so a lot of your messages sometimes don't have questions. You're just it's really nice to know that you enjoy some of the content, because I know we've been pretty pregnancy heavy, right? Like talking about, and I don't know how interesting that is, but a lot of you have found it fascinating. And Caitlin's said that she just always appreciated how real I am and honest about what's going on with my body, especially during pregnancy. All the changes with breast and milk coming in early were things I never knew about. And she's someone that is planning on having some kids, but I think there are a lot of things about being pregnant that I had no idea. And it is very TMI, and I don't want to be that gross TMI person. But I like to be honest, because where was this honesty with me, with all the girls I know in my life that have had kids? And so when I talk to people about it, I think that you must, and I'm sure a lot of you that have already had kids can affirm this, but like you must black out, right? Like you must just forget this relatively short 10-month period of time that can be kind of hellish and gross and weird, and all the stuff that happens, of course, like even after you give birth, like having to wear a diaper. Like I think, a lot of women just graze over it, probably because you're in this sort of, and we've talked about this, they say that you've never experienced a love like you feel from that moment that it happens in the hospital. And so I even said that to Fran last night. Like I just turned to him. We were sitting on the couch all day watching TV, and I was like, do you think like you're going to feel a love that you've never felt before here in a few months? Like you just don't, it's going to be like a drug.
Like I'm already feeling it, but I think it must be like a drug, because I'm pretty sure that those women that have 5-6 kids must have like, it must be like this endorphin rush. And for sure there's people that are so caring and have that ability to raise 6 humans. I might not be one of them, but it must be such an endorphin and like high that you feel when you
they
see
say
that.
It's like a psychedelic kind of feeling. I mean, for people that have done drugs, they say that the only thing that rivals like an amazing trip on mushrooms is what this documentary I was watching is, and this was like a guy that did mushrooms all the time that said the only thing that's ever kind of that has been better than that was watching the birth of my first child. So it must be trippy, right?
Must be like
to forget.
Maybe
like,
that guy doesn't even have a kid.
Shut up.
He's still dripping.
There's
like
some Netflix documentary.
He's carrying a fucking bottle of tequila.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't see him on camera.
With a swaddle.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm so like I'm already like
let you
high
know.
on life.
Are you?
Yes. Like
something about pregnancy. I don't tend to be an insecure person, so I hate even saying this, because my messaging to women has always been, yes, well, we all feel insecure from time to time about our appearance or about our flaws, whatever. Emotionally, things we lack, whatever. And I always tell women to not be that woman in front of your man, right? To not be like, I'm so fat, or, or I don't, do you love me? That kind of thing. My preaching advice, because I used to be, I guess maybe I would fake confidence better because we all feel it. I'd always say, find the girlfriend in your life or your mom and bitch to them about the things you feel insecure about, because you want to present, I think confidence is very attractive to a guy. And something about pregnancy has made me feel more insecure. It's so weird. I know a lot of women feel beautiful. I have felt so insecure, not just like physically from a vanity perspective as much. Yes, I mean here and there, because your body changes and you just feel kind of gross. And you like get on the scale at the doctor and you're just like, what the fuck? Like eating just, I mean, I'm just like a garbage disposal. So you feel less than attractive. But there's something that's made me feel more like insecure in the relationship. And I don't know what that is. If it's like, I think they say like the hormones can just make you feel not, you just don't feel like you have control over your body or how you feel. It's I'll say stuff to Fran, which is so out of character for me. I'll just be like, I think I love you more than you love me.
I think you need to, like, I wish you could see your eyes, yourself with my eyes, because I find you so sexy.
No, I wasn't digging.
No. But I'm like, you do look, and it's not only me, like, you do look amazing. You look so beautiful. Like, you carry pregnancy very well.
I guess what it is too is you start to feel like, I heard a woman say it really well one day, that you feel so, before when you're feeling your full self and you have control over your body and, you're working and you're just kind of more confident. Cause I mean, hey, I'm almost 40 years old at this point. Like I feel good about myself and where I'm at. But then the guy, he's not carrying any of this weight. Like he's not.
Both of our breasts are growing.
He's not carrying a lot of it.
And some of my belly.
And then you worry that you're like this, like ball and chain now, kind of. Because like, yeah, he can still travel and work and go out of town. And I'm sitting at home like, well, I think he definitely knows at this juncture, if he's ever been threatened or jealous in the past, like he knows this isn't a period of time that I'm likely to stray.
I actually not. Like, babe, you look so sexy.
Oh, really?
Oh, babe, I see guys checking you out all the time.
They're like,
you.
She's really pregnant.
No, she's like, wow.
I don't think men.
Oh, babe.
Some men find pregnant women sexy, and others are repulsed by it. Or how does that work?
I think we need to put a poll out there, but they're not gonna be honest, man. Right. But
wonderful. Thank you for confirming that.
You
find pregnant women sexy? Like you've seen other pregnant women before and you've thought that they were like beautiful, attractive?
I really think that there's like pregnancy brings a different thing to a woman. Like they make them look, it sounds cheesy, the glow thing, but you have looked like incredible. Like you look so sexy. Like all the weight has gone to the right places.
Yeah, it feels like it. Like gas.
Even the gas have gone to the right places.
I don't even know what you mean by that, but moving on. I'm not going to read this whole email because it feels a little too complimentary, I guess, of me. So it makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's fun because Madison wrote this email. She's been a long time listener and she was saying that she loves you on the podcast, Fran, but she says that her husband always asks her about this friend named Jenna. She talks about that she never hangs out with. So he doesn't know because he's not familiar with me in the podcast, but she's always saying like she's gotten some Ana Luisa jewelry, or what else did she say? Finished products, of course, or her Pros hair care, obviously things we've promoted and endorsed on the podcast, that her husband's asking her like why she's buying this stuff. And she's like, well, my friend Jenna. And so he finally just realized, I guess, that who I am, because he asked her what if she was going to hang out with her friend Jenna over the holidays, because it's like her imaginary friend. And she's like, Jenna who? Like she kind of got confused for a second. He's like, that girl that apparently you don't know that's on the radio, but so she just wrote this whole thing and she was really excited, which is really cool. She said, love JC and really especially love Franny, Maddie. But Maddie, thank you. I think what's funny, and then after this weekend, it kind of reminded me because I hadn't had a lot of contact with people that listen to the podcast that I haven't met before. And everyone says the same thing. Like, I feel like we're friends. I feel like I know you. And I think that you do. I mean, that's the thing. It's not creepy. Now her husband's calling her a stalker, but I don't think it's creepy at all. I think it can be weird, I'm sure, because I don't know you necessarily, but of course I would if you were, if you were me and if you were talking all the time. I don't feel stalked or weird by that because I think
No,
I've
and then
shared a lot of my life over
you
the
have
years.
people that you feel that you have things in common with, and you feel like that connection for sure.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to tell y'all I don't feel like you're a stalker. I mean, I share a lot of my life out there on social media and a lot, even more now. I mean, even more personal now weekly on the podcast and especially kind of going and having Fran on and we talk a lot about our relationship. And I think a lot of you have said you enjoy that probably because we talk about real personal stuff. So, I'm glad you appreciate it. And I don't feel like it's weird at all that you know me because you do. I don't hide anything really. I don't have anything hidden.
You know that will be really cool to do.
What?
You might kill me, but it will be
but
really cool.
Can you run ideas by me?
No, this is
air?
gonna be spontaneous.
Okay.
Have one of those cooking classes like the Sur La Table type with our listeners. Like have a couple Zoom call.
A couple Zoom? Okay.
Yeah. And have like a cool
You see Franny creating content for the podcast now? That's a great idea. A cooking class. Well, you can cook. You're amazing with food. Like you
But like
you blow
something
my
that
mind.
you can interact, like we can interact.
You could cook and I could just stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would work.
With the people that listen to the podcast.
That's a great idea. Do you want to like set it all up like you're going to do with that couple shower we're not ever going to have?
Yeah.
Fran telling everyone he wants to have a couple shower now that I had my little shower. I was like, great, Fran. Like, great. Do you want to send the names? Do you want to plan this? Because now here we are.
No, and we were, I was in the baby shower and I was with this really good friend of ours. And she's like, I was telling her, like, I think we need to do a couple's baby showers. Like, and I think she sweetly said, oh, yeah, we can do it in my house. Like, done. And I can see her face like, fuck, I was just being nice. Now we're doing it at her house.
Yeah, let's do a couple shower.
Yeah.
I think that's be great. But let's see. Y'all give us some feedback if you want us to set up a cooking class. We could actually have Fran cook something.
Yeah, we can have like a professional someone.
No, you. Fran is gonna. I've just decided. Fran's gonna host the couples cooking class, and I'm gonna sit there and talk through it, and it'll actually be really.
We're
great.
gonna cook quesadillas.
Pizzadillas. Hey,
but yeah, let's put a date for it.
Speaking of food, it is interesting. I've kind of started to consider. I'm not real food restrictive by any means. I have really let it go being pregnant. I'm just hungry all the time. But I have started to consider my approach to like postpartum, and that's probably when you're like, oh man, okay, I can't just like eat like there's no tomorrow after I have this baby. You want to take care of yourself, and that's why we love this particular sponsor of the Fitish podcast called Noom. That's Noom.com. Noom is a psychology-based approach to getting people on track to better eating habits because it's actually really fascinating. Like so many diets out there are so restrictive and very food specific and kind of all about your caloric intake and, things like that matter. Of course, it is science, it is math, what you put into your body. But Noom recognized that so much of our eating habits come down to just our psychology, right? Like issues that we're having are these habits, these kind of mindless habits that we have that we don't really consider the effects of. A lot of women tend to eat when they're stressed. Men too. Or they don't eat enough when they're stressed, or you eat when you're sad, and or you just eat out of boredom when you're watching TV. So Noom will help you analyze your habits. Like, when are you most likely to snack? What are you eating? And they're really going to coach you through this. It's only going to take 10 minutes of your day once you join Noom. They're going to teach you about your eating habits, check in on your progress. The science behind Noom says that more than 75% of users have actually completed the program. More than 60% of users lose 5% or more body weight by 16 weeks, and 60% of the users stay engaged with the program, have kept the weight off for a year or more. They have a lot of scientific journal articles about why this kind of approach to getting back on track with your eating habits is the most effective. Check it out for yourself. Go to noom.com/fitish. That's NOOM.com/fitish. You're actually going to get a trial when you go there so you can start building these better habits. This is a great time to do it too, just in time for the new year. Go again, that's noom.com/fitish for your trial. I think you're really going to like it, especially if you've tried other things that haven't worked. So noom.com/fitish for your trial.
That's so cool. Funny, I've seen 2 TikToks that are not paid advertising by them that said
That it popped up for you?
the lifetime change with no.
Probably, and it makes sense, I mean, we're really into kind of. I shouldn't say I'm so into psychology based approaches to things, but whether it's like counseling and relationships or communication or food or eating, because I feel that the psychology behind things is why people are the way they are. Like that's why people are insecure. That's why people have commitment issues. It's why people eat the way that they do. It's why we are flawed. It's usually based on our psychology or something like inherent in us. Like you never know what people went through as a child, or if people were real. I found that people that had a lot of siblings, or if there was like a food scarcity in the house, they're like plate finishers, right? I was never a plate finisher. I had this girlfriend that I lived with all these years, and she's like, you just talk a lot and you just kind of like pick at your food. But I was an only child. I never had to like fight for food. And that kind of catches up to women, especially at college age and as they get older. Because if you have that mentality of like finishing everything on your plate because you don't want to be wasteful, when my mentality was always like, I'm just going to eat till I'm full, and like anything your body doesn't want is waste anyway. It's just going in and coming out of you, right? You're just putting on the weight. I just never looked at food that way. But I found that that's probably the only child in me, because I didn't have to compete with like 3 brothers for pizza. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have to like scarf it. So when I got to college, it was such a wake up call, because I would get there, we'd order a pizza, and I lived with 6 girls, and they were just monsters over the food. And I would have a piece of pizza, and then I'd go back for another one after I finished mine, and it was all gone. They were like, you have to put multiple slices on your plate. I mean, they were just devouring food. This is a normal thing, I think. It is. You're laughing.
Crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Like
I've watched
we're
people.
3 kids.
I watched people the other day up here. We ordered pizza for everyone up here after a full day of work. People are not talking. People are just devouring food. And I was like, only child
Those
get where
poor
I'm
people
coming
have
from.
been starving till since 8 a.m., babe, with no food.
That's not true. We catered food and the breakfast for all the staff, but it's just, I think it's the only child thing. I think other only children, we have certain quirks, obviously, when you grow up that way. And one of them, I think, is just this kind of food. Like we just don't care as
You
much.
take it for granted.
We totally take it for granted. I mean, any of the snacks in the pantry that my mom bought were like just for me. Like I didn't have to like fight anyone for them. Think about that.
I guess.
I mean, you had 2 siblings close in age. So like, I'm sure that there was like some fighting over food. No?
I don't think we ever fought over
You didn't
food.
fight over the like intestines in the menudo.
Oh.
Fucking sick.
Thankfully,
The eyeball, like
they
the
put
brain's
extra
mine.
intestines in our menudo, babe. And but maybe we did like when it came to dessert or stuff like that. But no, like
I mean, I experienced it with you now. I wake up this morning, I ordered those Mariah's cookies, and they're all gone. Like I'd have to hide them. I have to hide things from you if I
you
want
ate
them. You brought me mango the other night, and I didn't eat it within a couple hours of it coming home, and it was a pregnancy craving. And he looked at me. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the mango now. Like I didn't want it right.
So I brought the
and
mango.
He's like, I ate it. I was like, I thought that's what you went to get me for my pregnancy craving.
I brought that mango was one of 5 things I brought you. And you asked me for the first 4 things.
I can't
and you
eat all 5 things at once.
And you said, oh, I don't want the mango right now. When you said, I don't want the mango right now, all of the sudden I had like a mango crave. And
You had a mango
I had
crave.
a mango crave. And
Baby, that was my middle of the night snack.
and that was, and what did I do? Tell everybody and their mamas, what did I do?
I don't know. What did you do?
I went to get
No, you didn't go
like
back.
5 trays of mango, strawberries. I got that pineapple that tasted like crack.
Yeah. That's true.
And
You didn't get mango though. They didn't have mango because
they had a little piece of mango on top of the strawberry, so that's why I bought like 3 cups
you
of
got
strawberries.
yourself the good mango from Whole Foods, and then you went to like the other grocery store closer
tell
by.
Bezos to open their freaking Whole Foods after 9 p.m. because this was at 11 p.m. when I went to Tom Tom. Thank you for stay open. And getting like
it's just so funny because
like
in the middle of the night I wake up so hungry
the
again.
checking out girl was looking at me like, who had like the fruit salad craving in the middle of the night?
It's like the only healthy thing I've craved. I crave fruit so much, and it's like what I want as a snack in the middle of the night because I can't just keep eating cereal, or I can't make like peanut butter and jelly in the middle of the night.
She just thought I was like a huge stoner, like all these guys.
For fruit, yeah, sure. And so I'm so hungry, but it's weird because like in the middle of the night, I start looking through my pregnancy snacks that I was supposed to have stocked up. Like I made myself a whole pregnancy pantry, but it is empty. It's like someone has ransacked it. There are none of those airplane cookies that I bought. There are no Pop-Tarts.
To lock that shit.
I have to lock it from you?
Yes.
What are you doing with it? What? When are you eating it?
I'm eating it. Like I'm growing weight as you're growing weight.
I love you anyway, but now I know I have to
lock it.
Lock it.
But like lock it good.
Awful.
Like
lock it good. What does that mean? But you know how to,
don't do it like I can use a clip. Because I'll use a clip.
But you know how to smuggle stuff now too? Like I can't get anything by you.
No,
Should we put a fridge in the garage?
Babe, do you think they'll stop us?
I don't know. I've been thinking like we might.
No, I think we need a fridge in the bedroom.
Oh my God. Fine. All right. Let me know how you keep your significant other from eating all your snacks at info@fitish.com or anything else you want to.
Like electric, like zapping thing or something. I need to stay away from those M&Ms. Those peanut butter M&Ms.
Talking about how we need to put a shock collar on Hefe. You're the one that needs a shock collar. When I hear you get up in the middle of the night and go out the bedroom door and not to the bathroom, I'm going to zap. Zap you.
Please do.
Oh, all right. Well, we love all your messages. Thanks so much. I'll get to more next week. And as always, check us out on YouTube. You can find the Fitish podcast there as well when we're doing video. We may pull back on the video over the holidays, so Franny and I can do some from home. Let everyone rest a bit.
So we can just gain weight
not be
freely and not be seen on.
Yeah, so you don't have to do your makeup and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
But I still don't have anybody here.
But thanks so much for joining us. And again, info@fitish.com is the email address. Shiny. You're talking over me and coughing during commercials. We're going to have to talk about that after the show today.
Yeah, just call my agent.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.